In this video tutorial we're going to look at how you work with shapes and pictures in ActivInspire. So we're going to look at how you can use the shape tool, how you can change shapes such as the colour, and how you can add pictures from something like Google Images, say. So if we just give ourselves a little bit of space to work, then we need to have a look at this tool here. It's the orange circle in front of a red square. Now that's the shape tool. So if we just click on that, we've then got all of these options available to us here for different shapes. So if I take the cursor over to the page and I hold down the left hand mouse button and draw from top left to bottom right whilst holding that mouse button down. If I'm working at the board, then I just need to go to the top left of the shape, make constant pressure and draw to the bottom right. And obviously we can choose whatever sort of shape you want to choose. Now, one thing to notice is the colour of the fill and the colour of the line. Now at the moment you can probably see here that it's the orange swatch that's selected, and that determines the fill colour, but on this palette it's the black swatch that is selected, and that determines the outline colour. So if I just clear the last couple of shapes that I drew, we can change those and see what happens. So if I pick up green on this palette and then draw, we can see now that the fill is green, but the line around the outside is still black because I've still got black selected here. If I change that to red, draw the same shape again, then I've now got the green star but with a red outline. If I want a thicker line, then I can take this thickness slider up. So now as I draw, in fact for a while the line is so thick it doesn't even look as though you've got a fill colour. You can see that we have as we make the shape slightly bigger. There are other options available to us. If I just move the recording bar out of the way, you can see that at the bottom there's an option to click for other shapes. So we can have a little smiley face filled in yellow, perhaps with a black outline. We certainly want the outline that thick. There we go. And you've got slightly odd things there. Perhaps there's a factory there, so if you draw lots of factories in your lesson, then suddenly you can do that very quickly. There are call-outs as well. If we just clear a little bit of space, just drag that one into the bin. There are little call-outs, so you can add things like speech bubbles. Now, again, just take some of those away. It's quite useful to be able to draw straight lines as well, so we've got line options here. If we want to draw a horizontal line, this would be black because the line selected there is black. Then we can do that, and now that will only ever be horizontal. Even if I move the cursor vertically, you can see it won't actually go in that direction. The vertical line, have to choose the vertical line tool. This one at the top allows me to draw lines in any direction, but they'll always be straight. And obviously we can choose whatever colour we want for the line itself. With the shapes, one thing I didn't mention, if I just put a shape back in, so I need to add a little bit of space, I just put a call out back in, for example. If we select that shape, then we have the marquee options now, but this one on the far right is the edit shape point option. And when we do that, we can make various adjustments to the shape itself. So if we add a circle, perhaps, actually if we just clear the shape and then add the circle, I then go back and select it, and then pull up that option for the edit shape points. Then here we can make all sorts of adjustments to that particular one. And again, it looks rather like the call out that we had earlier on. Other options in there, just whilst we're looking at the marquee options, obviously we've got the free move option, we've got the rotate option, we've got the translucency slider to fade it in or out, and we can make it larger or smaller, or duplicate as you would with any object. Even if you're working with text, you'd have similar options. The difference here is the edit shape points. And if we want to get rid of them, then we just drag them into the waste paper basket, or just click to highlight it, and then click on the waste paper basket. If you want to add a picture, then that's very simple. You just need to go to your browser, and I've got Google open at the moment. So if I just go into Google, and if I type in Darwin, for example, let's have a look at what we've got on Darwin. And we've got some images here that I might want to add to a flip chart, so if I view that full size. Well, there are a couple of ways we can do this. We can do it in the sort of fairly traditional cut and paste way, so if I right click and then copy that picture, I'll just minimise that, and then if I go into the flip chart, I can right click and paste. If you don't like the right click, then obviously you've got all of those options in edit. We've got cut, copy, paste and delete options in there, and then obviously that's one way to bring the picture in. Another way that you can do it is just by drag and drop. So if I open another image and view that full size, then this is the flip chart here, and this is Google that I've got open here. So if I just hold down the left hand mouse button and drag whilst holding that mouse button over to the flip chart, and you can see that the image just pops up. And obviously if I'm working with the board, I just maintain constant pressure with the pen as I drag across. And then once we've got the picture in there, of course, we can resize it. This one at the bottom right is very important, the handle at the bottom right, because you notice that there's a little line across it, and that's telling you that this one will keep the original dimensions of the picture. The other ones will enable us to change those dimensions. The last thing to look at is how we want to, or might want to, lock shapes. So for example, if we're working with this picture here, we might want students to come out to the board and move some text, make adjustments, but we might not want them to change that picture, so we might want to lock it in place. Well, to do that, we need to select the picture, and if we go up to the Object Edit menu, then we've got the object here to lock that picture in place. Now, as I try and click on that now, I'm just clicking with the left hand mouse button, I'm trying to select it, you see that I can't select it. If I click with this picture with the left hand mouse button, obviously I've now selected it and I could move it around and make adjustments to it, but I can't with this one, so I can't accidentally change that picture in any way. We might, of course, then decide we want to change it. For example, we might think, actually, we don't want this one any longer. Well, that's fine. We can move this one over into the waste paper basket. But this one we can't move into the waste paper basket because we can't select it. So what you would need to do then is to put yourself into design mode. And on the top here, there's this little blue icon. If you hover over it, so it tells you that it's design mode. If it's blue, it means that it's off. If I click on it, it turns red, or sort of orangey red now. That means then that design mode is switched on, and that will enable you to make changes to things that are locked. It will disable various actions. So for example, if we had something linked to the internet when we're in design mode, it won't link to the internet. And that means now that I can change this picture. So I might want to make that picture much bigger. But it's very important that as soon as you have gone into design mode and made the adjustments that you want to make sure that you remember to come out of design mode. Because when you're in design mode, don't forget, things won't work in the way that they normally would. And now that I've come out of design mode, that's gone blue, so I know that I've switched design mode off. Again, this picture will be locked in place.